The Election Commission of India has announced the special intensive revision exercise of electoral rolls in 12 states and union territories, which marks a significant departure from the version first implemented in Bihar earlier this year. Phase 2 is widely seen as an improved and more transparent version of the Bihar exercise. The second phase of this SIR of electoral rolls will do away with paperwork, making the process entirely digital. SIR is a large-scale door-to-door verification exercise carried out by the EC to ensure the accuracy and integrity of the electoral rolls. The new SIR reflects lessons learned and political aspects discovered during the exercise in Bihar, and now has a softer tone on citizenship checks, redesigned forms and wider inclusion efforts. According to the Election Commission of India, the exercise will be carried out in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Chhattisgarh, Goa, Gujarat, Kerala, Lakshadweep, Madhya Pradesh, Puducherry, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal. Assembly polls are due in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Puducherry and West Bengal early next year. The EC will release the draft electoral rolls on the 9th of December, and the final electoral rolls will be published on the 7th of February. In the second phase, the EC has expanded its indicative list of 11 documents that electors can submit to 13. However, opposition parties and civil society groups remain cautious, pledging to closely monitor fairness, transparency and voter inclusion during implementation. Certain states and UTs have voiced reservations over the timing and intent of the nationwide rollout. Joining us live is T.S. Singhdeo, former Deputy Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh. We also have C.T. Ravi, member of Karnataka Legislative Council, joining us live. Mr. Ravi, thank you for being with us today on NewsX. What do you make of this second phase of the SIR? What is your reaction to the announcement by the Election Commission of India?
We are welcoming to this. फर्जी वोट को निकालना, सच्ची वोट कितना है उसको रखना, पूरा फर्जी वोट को निकालना नहीं है तो डेमोक्रेसी को महत्व कमजोर होता है। उसके वजह से पूरा फर्जी वोट को निकालना।
बिल्कुल, आप कह रहे हैं फर्जी वोट को निकालना जरूरी है, ये डेमोक्रेसी के लिए अनिवार्य है। बट सीटी रवि, we've seen the kind of opposition to the SIR in Bihar as well. Do you believe there will be opposition by political parties, particularly the opposition to this next phase of SIR also?
कुछ लोग फर्जी वोट्स के वजह से जीतना चाहता है, उसको मौका नहीं देना। कुछ कर्नाटक में भी बांग्लादेश की लोग वोटर लिस्ट में शामिल है, उसको निकालना चाहिए। नहीं है तो कौन डिक्टेट करेगा भारत का डेमोक्रेसी को? बांग्लादेशी लोग डिक्टेट कर सकता है क्या? उसको मौका मत देना, उसके वजह से फर्जी वोट्स को पूरा निकालना।
तो आप चाहेंगे ये कर्नाटका में हो, पूरी तरह से हो, अच्छी तरह से हो? आपकी ये मांग है कि कर्नाटक में हो? ये
पार्डन,
मैं कह रहा हूं आप चाहेंगे कि आपके गृह राज्य कर्नाटका में ये प्रॉपर्ली किया जाए, ये प्रॉपर्ली किया जाए?
इस बार दिया नहीं। हम लोग चुनाव आयोग को निवेदन करना चाहता हूं, कर्नाटक को भी शामिल करो। कर्नाटक में बहुत फर्जी वोट्स है, फर्जी वोट्स के वजह से कांग्रेस जीता है, पूरा फर्जी वोट को निकालना चाहिए।
तो आप चाहेंगे कि SIR कर्नाटक में भी हो? आपका आरोप क्या है कि कौन है ये फर्जी वोट, किसने इनको शामिल करवाया है? स्पष्टता से आप बताइए सीटी रवि, आपका क्या आरोप है?
कुछ मरा हुए लोग भी वोटर लिस्ट में है और उसके साथ साथ कुछ लोगों को वोट 2, 3, 4 जगह में है, उसको निकालना चाहिए। तीसरा, कुछ बांग्लादेशी लोग यहाँ घुसपैठे लोग हैं, उसको भी शामिल किया है। उसके वजह से जीतने वाला हारता है, हारने वाला जीतता है। राष्ट्रवादी नहीं जीतेगा, बांग्लादेशी राष्ट्रवादी को नहीं वोट देंगे। वो लोग वोट देते हैं, भारत को टुकड़े करने वालों को वोट देता है, उसको समर्थन करने वालों को वोट देता है, हमको वोट नहीं देता है। उसके वजह से पूरा फर्जी वोट को निकालना।
मगर विपक्ष ये कहता है कि बीजेपी जो है वो दबाव बना रही है EC पर, ताकि उन एरियाज में जहां बीजेपी कमजोर हैं वहां वोटरों को हटाया जाए।
वो लोगों को संविधान के बारे में भरोसा नहीं है, वो लोग आरोप करता है। डेमोक्रेसी के ऊपर भरोसा कौन नहीं रखता है, वो लोग अपने ऊपर आरोप करता है, चुनाव आयोग के ऊपर भी आरोप करता है। फर्जी वोट न निकालेगा तो दर्द किसको वजह से है? फर्जी वोट्स निकालेगा तो दर्द क्यों है?
जी सीटी
कुछ
रवि,
लोगों का दर्द आता है, उसके मतलब वो लोग झूठा वोट और फर्जी वोट की वजह से हमेशा चुनाव जीतना चाहता है।
जी
उसको
मगर आधार कार्ड को लेकर भी विवाद हुआ था।
मत देना।
आधार कार्ड को भी लेकर विवाद हुआ था। उच्च न्यायालय को कहना पड़ा कि आधार कार्ड भी इस्तेमाल किया जाए एज अ प्रूफ ऑफ सिटीजनशिप, एज अ प्रूफ ऑफ एड्रेस। इस विवाद को आप किस नजरिए से देखते हैं? क्या आप चाहेंगे कि आधार कार्ड भी शामिल कराया जाए या फिर नहीं?
आरोप करना कुछ लोगों को बीमारी है, हमेशा आरोप करते रहता है। आप कितना प्रामाणिकता से काम करेगा तो आरोप करने वालों करते रहता है। चुनाव आयोग का काम है पूरा एक बार स्क्रूटनी होना चाहिए, हर आदमी का स्क्रूटनी होना। सही है तो रखना, फर्जी है तो निकालना। सही वोट को निकालने के लिए एसआईआर नहीं है, केवल फर्जी वोट को निकालने के लिए एसआईआर है। और मरे हुए लोगों को निकालने के लिए, वोटर लिस्ट से निकालने के लिए एसआईआर है। 3-4 जगह में वोटर लिस्ट में नाम रख करके फर्जी वोट करने वालों को रुकने के लिए एसआईआर है। उसमें दर्द किसके वजह से दर्द है? क्यों इतना दर्द हो रहा है विपक्षी लोगों को, कांग्रेसियों को?
ओके, तो कुछ आपत्ति नहीं होनी चाहिए। जैसे आप कह रहे हैं कि आप भी मांग कर रहे हैं कि कर्नाटक में भी ये इम्प्लीमेंट किया जाए। आप चाहेंगे पूरे देश में हो, क्योंकि अभी इस सेकंड फेज के लिए कुछ ही राज्य और यूटी का नाम लिया गया है इसी द्वारा। अभी आसाम वाला भी होल्ड पर डाल दिया गया है क्योंकि मैटर सब जुडिस है। पर आप चाहेंगे, आपकी मांग है कि पूरे भारत में हो ये एसआईआर?
यहाँ थोड़ा नेटवर्क का इश्यू है।
मैं कह रहा हूं आपकी मांग है कि पूरे भारत में हो एसआईआर? सीटी रवि, आप चाहेंगे पूरे भारत में एसआईआर हो? क्या ये आपकी मांग है?
आपका आवाज नहीं सुन रहा है, कट हो रहा।
ओके, सीटी रवि, थैंक यू फॉर जॉइनिंग अस विद योर पर्सपेक्टिव ऑन दैट। सॉरी, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमारे संग जुड़ने के लिए। टीएस सिंहदेव भी इस वक्त जुड़ गए हमारे संग। ये पूर्व उप मुख्यमंत्री है छत्तीसगढ़ के, टीएस सिंहदेव, फॉर्मर डेप्यूटी सीएम छत्तीसगढ़ इज विद अस। व्हाट इज योर फर्स्ट रिएक्शन, मिस्टर सिंहदेव, टू दिस एसआईआर? डू यू बिलीव दिस नेशन वाइड एसआईआर एंड क्लीन अप इन वोटर रोल्स इज अ गुड डिसीजन?
I don't know about SIR in particular, but the voter list needs to be updated. There were questions about whether or not there should be SIRs, but the Election Commission, certainly in a free and fair way, must keep updating voter lists.
Okay. Why is an exercise which has been done 8 times in the history of India undemocratic then? Because your party says it is.
Because it is being shown through information gathered that there are people who are manipulating the voter list. Online applications were put in the relevant forms to delete certain names and add certain names. And in addition, that same process of, if I may call it research, has indicated in that one seat in Karnataka, which Rahul ji brought to the press, that there was a discrepancy of 1,250 names in one Vidhan Sabha, in one assembly segment. So that is a huge, huge anomaly. We cannot have free and fair elections in the country if the voter list is, let us say, tainted to this extent. And there have been also doubts and allegations that certain names are attempted to being cut, etc. All that needs to be looked into and put in place.
Congress leaders are also alleging ulterior motives, directly attacking the EC. What is the objective of this? The issue is in the Supreme Court, which has given it a nod. Then why this, vehement opposition, Mr. Singhdeo?
We are not challenging anything that the Supreme Court had okayed. It is the EC representatives in the Supreme Court who were refusing to accept suggestions and directions of the Supreme Court, for example, regarding Aadhaar. And it was the Bharatiya Janata Party who was coming forward as spokespersons of the EC. And the EC was making politically loaded statements to the extent that Rahul ji needs to put up an affidavit for inquiries to be made. In the past, we have never ever heard of such situations. We've had so many election commissioners and chief election commissioners. Many of them known to have been very bold right from the time of Mr. Sheshan and before him and after him, who had not ever appeared to be partisan. For the past few years, if I may say, the action of the Election Commission is under a cloud. So that is why these issues are coming up again and again. The neutrality and the bipartisan attitude of the Election Commission, that is under review. And it is for the Election Commission, being a constitutional body, to be absolutely free and fair and appear to be free and fair. You see, nation won election. And the Election Commission comes up with suggestions of splitting elections between Jammu and Kashmir, Haryana, Maharashtra and Jharkhand in 2 phases. Then doubts come up. When J&K is being delimited, you're carving out 90 constituencies, and they're not as per the population share of the valley and the Jammu Kashmir region. See, if 60% population resides in the valley, then out of 90, 54 seats should have been earmarked for that region. So you check how many seats have been earmarked for the valley and how many for the Jammu region. These sort of things raise a doubt. How is it that Election Commission appears to be finalizing its dates as per the programs of a very senior political person? See, how can that be? How can the BJP be announcing dates for the election before the Election Commission? So these are the issues which have come forward in the public domain over the past couple of years, and it has shaken us all up. If the trust that we have and we have been having in the Election Commission comes under a cloud, then the entire democratic process would come under a cloud. So
Right. What is needed then, Mr. Singhdeo, what is needed then to ensure that voter roll revision happens? Because obviously this process is needed, but there is a certain fear mongering that is happening also from the Congress party that makes some people feel that it's not important.
It is not that the process is not important. It must be and appear to be clearly above board. See, there must be no taint in an action being undertaken by the Election Commission. And an important procedure like the preparation of voter lists. See, if the Election Commission or the Chief Election Commissioner says that my representatives have gone to each house in each polling booth of each assembly constituency in the state, then it must be like that. If duplicate forms are to be made available, a copy left with the applicant and a copy taken by the representative of the Election Commission, which let us say is the booth level officer, then that must be the procedure that is followed. And if that is not happening, then, and if the Chief Election Commissioner makes such a statement, then his statement comes under a cloud. See, either he doesn't say it, and if he says so, if he says that my representatives have gone to each house and in each polling booth, then how come there are 50 names, 70 names, 80 names, 100 names, 200 names, and even more in one house? Is it possible? Can you, as a citizen of the country, accept that? You will not. So there is something wrong. It is not the Chief Election Commissioner who is going house to house. But he is saying, though, my representative has gone, which means the Election Commission has gone. Then there are serious anomalies. There are serious mistakes. House numbers which are being indicated. I have also in my constituency, Ashwell constituency, gone through the records of names which are more than, let us say, 20. And in my municipal council area, it's a small municipal council, in that more than 16,000 names are from such houses where more than 20 persons have been indicated to be living. And we have sent our representatives to those houses, and not more than 5-6 people are living in those houses. So there is something seriously wrong with the procedure. The Election Commission should never, in my understanding, and if I can make a suggestion, make a statement which it will not be able to stand up to, because then it brings it under questioning situations, you know. If the Chief Election Commissioner says, no, it is like this, I am doing it, I know it is like this, my representative have gone, that is, he's taking the onus of the procedure, then the procedure must prove to be correct. Otherwise, a very high office, constitutional office, that of the Chief Election Commissioner, comes under a cloud. That is unfortunately what is happening.
Okay, the EC says 0 complaints though were filed in Bihar. You know, that is the criticism then, that, you know, the opposition of course cries foul, but does not file official complaints with the EC.
The same thing had come up when Rahulji was asked to file an affidavit. And I believe leaders of the Samajwadi Party came forward and provided the media copies of the affidavits that they had filed. See, I mean, how are we working? We must work and appear to work in a completely free and fair manner. If the Chief Election Commissioner says that unless you give an affidavit, we won't proceed, then what happened where the affidavits were given? That is what is happening. The Election Commission must not appear to be partisan.
All right, more breaking news in fact now coming in. Mr. T.S. Singhdeo, thank you very much for joining us with your perspective.